Blessed is the one who finds wisdom and the one who gets understanding. For the gain from her is better than the gain from silver, and her profit is better than gold. Be not wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Does not wisdom come? Does not understanding raise her voice on the heights beside the way? The fear of the Lord, the fear of the Lord, the fear of the Lord, fear of the Lord is the beginning of understanding. The fear of the Lord, fear of the Lord is the beginning of understanding. The fear of the Lord is understanding, understanding. Does not wisdom come? Does not understanding raise her voice on the heights beside the way? Does not wisdom come? Does not understanding raise her voice on the heights beside the way? Does not wisdom come? Does not understanding raise her voice on the heights beside the way?
Hey, well, good Wednesday afternoon to all of you. I'm Brad.
And I'm Christa.
And I'm tired.
I'm sick.
And tired.
No, I'm really not sick. It was just a joke.
With a Big Family
Yeah.
Homestead.
Yeah. It's cold, though.
And wet.
And wet and getting colder. So
Yeah, actually, we're not used to driving on the ice here. We actually have a real live conversation coming up that is important. And
Yes.
that's not a joke.
right.
It is important. But just side note, since you got me distracted, it was them.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it them?
We are going to have serious ice events later today. Probably. I'd say it looks bad. I tried to take Hope to work. She wanted to go to work, and
Wasn't working.
we skidded for probably a solid mile, like on off, and then it was like,
Yeah, no.
I said, do you want me to keep going? Because I'll go slower and we can keep going. And she made the decision not to keep going.
Well, and you were going slow already. You were
You
going,
saw
what,
me.
25 miles an hour? Who saw you?
Did you? Oh, you saw coming
No.
out of the driveway?
No, you told me you were going slow.
Yeah, so it's going to be nasty. It's that basically it had warmed up here, and then it was wet, and then
It rained
And
all
now-
day yesterday.
and now it's going to get cold.
Yeah.
So-
So nice and freezy. Actually, when we did chores this morning, Selah and Dottie both slipped and fell. So we put some wood shavings outside where it was really, really icy so they'd have some traction.
Yeah.
So
So here's the scoop, guys.
we need
What?
to switch sides. Scott doesn't like the fact that I'm on this
Scott.
side. Sorry.
Here you go. What you need to do, if you really are that bothered, put your computer behind you and look into a mirror. Okay?
Just turn it upside down.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
Michelle is attacking us too.
Oh,
Look at that,
boy.
mercilessly.
Oh, boy.
Without mercy.
Yeah.
So here's the scoop, guys. This morning, and this has been bugging me for a long time, but it's hard to try to approach topics like what we're going to do today without getting people upset. Because everybody seems to have one pick of an opinion, and they can't even listen to somebody else's opinion without getting all irritated about it. And this is a sensitive topic, and that is basically spiritual. It's 100% spiritual, even though a lot of what we're going to talk about is what's going on around us. But it's really what's behind it.
Right.
That's the important thing. And so today, I'll tell you this. If you are not a person who is into spiritual things, you will still find a lot of benefit in this.
Oh,
you
sure.
really will.
Yeah.
But you may have to go, okay, well, I don't really buy that, but some of that in there makes sense. And okay, fine. Glad for you to hang out. In all honesty, we will not try to shove anybody down or beat you over the head with a Bible or anything like that. We don't do that. Just one request. If you make any kind of comment, do so with respect. That's all.
Yeah.
Think about other people's feelings. And even if you're a believer, don't just start going after people who may not think like you, because that is not how Jesus does things. Never did. No. I mean, the Pharisees, they deserved it, but they asked for it, so it was their own fault. So here's the scoop. What we've got right now in the world is a bunch of crazy wars, rumors of wars, literal earthquakes, literal famines, literally a lot of the stuff that is very well described in the book of Revelation in the Bible. Now, we were talking about our this contemporary topic this morning. I do a Bible devotion on Big Family Devotions channel. We were in Zechariah chapter 10, and I'm going to ask Christa, the lovely assistant. She's my better than Vanna White. Oh, hold your
I don't have
product.
my nails
That's
done.
nice.
I
Show
won't
it.
ever do my
Show
nails.
it. If you would read, please, from first chapter, or chapter 10 through all the way down through right there.
1 and 2?
1 and
Okay.
2.
Ask for rain for the Lord in the season of the spring rain, from the Lord who makes the storm clouds, and he will give them showers of rain. To everyone the vegetation in the field. For the household gods utter nonsense, and the diviners see lies. They tell false dreams and give empty consolation. Therefore the people wander like sheep. They are afflicted for the lack of a shepherd.
Sound about familiar, people?
Yeah.
Now, again, if you are not a believer, you will still get a lot out of this conversation, because what we're going to talk about is partly spiritual and partly what's going on around us. So, again, here we go. Put your comments in there, talk it up, just be respectful and kind, and we will do the same, okay? So here's the scoop. This is what I was thinking about this morning when we were talking about this in the Bible devotion. It's that we're getting to the point when we can't trust our own eyes. You can't trust your own ears.
Right.
With deep AI fake video and audio, and with a click of a mouse, I can tell AI to make music. Now,
Or write a poem or write a story.
write your thesis.
Right.
Talk about that.
Oh yeah. You can have AI write your, college thesis, so that you can get your doctorate in some blah 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 degree. So, yeah, it's
You can fake it.
You can totally fake it.
And so here's the thing, like if you've ever watched a magician, then you know that whatever they're doing right now is to distract you from what they don't want you to see.
Yes, definitely.
Because they're showing you and telling you, hey, pay attention to this when they're doing something, or
Total sleight of hand.
yeah, kind of like, I don't know, politicians. And so
Yes.
as Brad pensively
Yes.
strokes his beard, and you will see these two are going to come together, these two topics. Let me show you something that I brought up in you might not believe this, but it was brought up during the Bible Devo this morning. Go back and look. I'm lying, I'm dying. Look at this. For those who are astute historians, you guys might know what that is. That, my ladies and gentlemen, is an actual picture Remember those bad guys in German and that somewhere over there during World War II? Those bad guys, the N word that we're not allowed to utter or else YouTube pulls your video.
Right.
Well, they made that thing, and they made it to actually work back in the 1930s. Now, was it flying around out there? No, but they got it to actually float. Anti-gravity float. Now, that's kind of misleading because it wasn't really anti-gravity. They just figured out how to make frequencies work. But to you and I's eyes, you would see it and go, it is hovering. How is that possible? Now, keep that in mind when I say that was in the 1930s when they didn't have a single computer chip like we have at all, let alone a working computer that would not fit into, an entire 10 buses. And then fast forward to the 60s where the computing power of this device is more than what they needed to go to the moon by like a lot.
Right. And that particular unit took up an entire very large room.
So, that said, now, if they could make that happen then, without computers, and our people are really smart, and they have computers. And
that sounded very sarcastic.
Well, they are.
I know.
But, think holograms. Think about all the ways that, we've come technologically. They had back, it had to be 10 years ago, there was a concert series called Lollapalooza, and they actually had a hologram of a dead rap star named Tupac perform, air quotes, live on stage. Might have even been longer than 10 years ago.
May have.
But he was performing along with a live band.
Well, there's also another one where there was Michael Jackson as a hologram.
True.
And
you can put holograms in the atmosphere now. Now, I guess some of you guys are going to know what Project Bluebeam is. Yep. And John Zeckerly. Watch his comments, guys. I would just say you should pay attention to his comments when it comes to this topic. He's somebody who knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
That said, do you think for a second that technology has moved on since, 1930s?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, 90 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That's really
Without
hard to
computers.
imagine. It's really hard to imagine that 1930 was 90
Almost
years
100 years ago.
Yeah, almost 100 years ago.
Think of what they did with the Enigma machine, the coding machine. That was a feat of amazing proportions without real computers. They had computational devices, but not real computers like we know.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, do you think... Now, this is a crazy... Here it is, Mom. You ready? Here, it's your time to shine.
Do I need to get my tinfoil out?
No, I've got mine.
Okay. Just making sure.
Actually, if you're in a pinch, you could just strap a bunch of these to your head.
Okay, I'll do that.
That would work.
Okay.
This one just happens to be Peter Gabriel, which is a great record. Side note, I digress.
Sorry.
But do you think that, let's say in this crazy scenario, that people who are in power over the people who are the masses, like masses, it's not even 0.1% of the leadership to everybody else. Do you think that they might use technology and military gadgets and gizmos to kind of keep the masses distracted?
No, they wouldn't do that. Not at all.
In check?
No.
Deceived?
No, I don't think so.
Couldn't possibly.
Couldn't possibly. No, not at all.
No. They would never do that to you. They're
They're
the
looking
people,
out for you.
Just like you.
They're looking out for you, your best interest.
Yeah.
No.
So here's the thing. Believe it or not, my thought in coming and talking with you today did not have to do with bashing those morons, because, yes, they're morons. And that was the most Christ-like thing I could think to say. So he'll either have words with me or you'll have to get over it. So here's my point, guys. If we know that this technology is there, and we know because we can see throughout history they've used this kind of stuff again and again and again. If you don't know what a black swan event is, you should look it up. Mm-hmm. Look it up.
Yeah.
If you don't know what a false flag is, you should look it up.
Oh, my.
So, if these tiny little percentage of people that is ruling this really big population, and we can see through history that they will use technology, they'll use deception, they'll use starvation, they'll use all kinds. They might even use, let's just say, medical treatments without going too far. Mm-hmm. To keep people
experimental
gene therapy.
Yeah, they're experimental. Yeah.
That's funny.
Black Swan is my wrestling name.
That is funny.
Love it. Is that your luchador name?
He's my luchador. Ah. It was a lie, Stephen.
Get that corn out of my face.
Don't get me started. That is a funny movie.
Yeah.
And actually, it's clean. It is clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Mm-hmm. So, if they are known to do these things, now you got me. I'm switched into Buzz Lightyear mode when
No, that's
Spanish.
Nacho.
Then, well, I don't know. You said what would be my wrestling name? You guys decide. What do you think, Shri?
Oh gosh.
El Sweet Cake. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Or maybe like in the Muppets, Sweetums.
There you go, Sweetums. Yeah.
So here's the question: if we know that they do these things, who can you trust? Can you trust? Here, show of hands. You guys watching, almost 200 of you. Do you really think? How many of you think that you can trust what the mainstream tells you is truth and falsehood anymore? Just thumbs up, thumbs down. Just honestly, what do you think? Yes, no, whatever you think. What do you think, hon? Tell me.
I'm going to say a big fat no. No.
Yeah.
So, there's so many things that you're seeing, or I should say that you're not seeing, but you're seeing on the mainstream media, glitching.
Mainstream media. Mainstream media. Sorry. I heard that somewhere and I thought it was very appropriate. I don't know why.
Okay. There's so many things that are going on right now that are being ignored by the mainstream media. And you guys know what's going on. We don't have to, we don't want to beat a dead horse. The non-living
mammal.
Equine mammal. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. No.
Bereft of
but
life.
You see what's going on that's not being talked
Look at
about.
All that.
Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah. No. Everybody's saying no. It's disheartening what's going on and the things that are being done to our government or to our society, to
it's not just America
to
anymore.
Our environment, to our water supply, to our air supply, to our food supply. Let's just go with those.
Your health.
Yeah. These are, I saw an article that in the Wall Street Journal, they suggest that if you want to save money, you should skip breakfast.
That's their solution.
That's their solution because you can't get eggs because they're so expensive.
Might as well be hungry.
You might as well skip breakfast. Are you kidding me? Let's tell our 2-year-old kids that no, we have to save money, so we're skipping breakfast.
I'm sorry, Johnny, but I hurt Mom. No. The government says you should skip meals. I'm here to tell you, I know those pains in your belly feel real, but they're not.
But they're not. They're fake. Trust
your GOV. Ignore your own.
So hence the title of the video, Don't Trust What You See. Pay attention.
Where did this hand
Pay
go?
attention to
Hey,
the
look,
man
kids.
behind the curtain.
Here, honey.
Okay.
Reach around that way.
I got it. I got it. Yeah, no. You know the movie Wizard of Oz? And it says, don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. No, I'm sorry. You need to be paying attention to the man behind the curtain. Because that man behind the curtain is lying to you.
Crazy Prepper Linda says, so, breakfast is no longer the most important meal of the day. According to the egg farming glitterati, they disagree. But the government says, no, you don't need to eat that. That's
No.
silly talk.
Because
meals a day,
egg yolks
bad.
are not good for you. They are high in cholesterol. No, I'm sorry. Egg yolks are very good for you. Egg whites are very good for you. They actually help to protect against a certain thing that's out there. Just saying. Studies have shown.
Well, ED is a very serious problem for many people. But that has nothing to do with this. Let's refocus.
Okay, then.
Oh, man. Engage mouth, disengage brain.
Yes.
Go.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Oh, boy. All this to say, guys.
Okay.
What?
Nothing. It's,
Okay.
yeah.
All this to say that if you know they're spinning a yarn, if you know they're telling you a crazy old story around that campfire, why are you listening to them? Egg deficiency. Yes, Robert. Thank you. ED is a problem. Egg deficiency. High fives. Bam. My friend, that is now mine. I'm stealing it. I apologize in advance. I'm calling it my own. I used to do a lot of work for a guy named Zig Ziglar. He was a motivational speaker guy. Awesome dude, godly guy. And he had a joke that he would say all the time. And he said, the definition of originality is the ability to forget where you heard it. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, he was joking, but sorry, bro. I don't even know who you are, man. I made that up. It was totally mine, 100%. ED.
I have an issue with a comment that's being made, and it's very near and dear to my heart.
Oh?
Eggs. They don't cause blood clots. Mutations in your genes
Do.
cause blood clots. I should know. I have one. Also, sedentary life causes blood clots.
Yeah,
Non-exercise causes blood clots. I know this because I've had them. I've had many blood clots because of my blood clotting disorder.
She's honed in on what causes it.
Yeah, and I eat eggs every day, and it has nothing to do with my blood clots.
You know what's interesting, too? If you just look back at people who lived, say, in the 20s and 30s, 40s on farms.
They ate eggs every day.
On farms.
Yes.
And they would eat a ton of them. And they were, the heart disease rates were nothing like they are now.
Do you know why they didn't get blood clots?
Because they were working.
Because they were working their heinies off. And you know why they didn't gain weight? Because they were working their heinies off. And you know why they didn't get blood clots?
Because they were working.
Because they were working their heinies off. I mean,
Anyway.
Sorry. When it comes, you poke the bear. When it comes to blood clots, I'm a little familiar. No, a lot familiar with them. So, yeah.
Ryan A.
Blood thinners for life, people.
Ryan A. See, Ryan A., who I don't know, and is some random person in the chat. I want to make sure. I want to make sure I understand what you're saying. Random person on YouTube who we're not friends with or anything like that.
No.
But
They weren't at our house this past weekend either.
Do you understand what that person is getting at?
I don't know, but
This
it's
random
funny.
person. Why is
If
it
it's
funny?
jeans, just wear khakis. I don't know. It's just funny.
I guess as long as you have eggs. I really don't know what you mean, man.
I don't either. I don't know what he means either, but it sounds funny.
It must have had something
Yeah.
to do with something. Anyway, because, well.
You know, I gotta, okay. In Cooper DWI, I agree. Eggs, raw milk, butter, all things that are supposed to kill you. Yes, because God created eggs. talk
with your doctor.
no, that's not what I'm getting at. That's
No,
not
but
what I'm getting
you
at.
have to say that.
I'm not getting at that. I'm not talking about
Okay.
medical anything. You know, if it was created by God, eggs, raw milk, the butter, of course, was not. But, you know, the butter is a product of the milk. But those things, the vegetables on the ground, you know, the fruits and everything, God created those. Have got to be good for you. Seriously. Sorry.
Well, you gotta be honest, Mom. I could argue possibly a little bit against that. To be honest, I mean,
Okay, God created poop. You shouldn't eat that. I get it.
don't eat
I
poop.
know. Yes, Cindy, just eat real food, right? Don't eat processed
That's
stuff.
what she meant.
That's what I'm talking about. It's just
She gets flustered.
I get when there's certain things that, you know, it's like, no, it's, oh, I get it. The blood clots come from genes. I know it's genes.
Got
okay,
it.
got it. Very
Got
funny.
it.
Very funny. Yes.
Cha-ching-ching.
Yeah, got it.
All
That's really funny.
So here's the question, folks. What do you do about it?
Yeah.
And I mean that. I mean that sincerely because, well, if we can't really trust what our eyes are telling us because they can be manipulated online with any number of fake this, fake that, AI this, AI that. We know that they can do that and make it look flawless.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can project things in the skies now, which they can, if they can project things that are holographic, and they can and they do. And now they have control over a large part of the populace's, well, let's just say.
What they view.
No, I was even going, well, yes. Yes. TikTok, Google, they know what you're going to do before
Sure.
you do it, right?
Sure.
You know, I don't recommend watching Minority Report in its entirety because there's scenes in there you don't want to see. However,
Right.
but the idea of the control grid that they have
Yes.
is
Right.
here
Right.
now. It's
Right.
no longer just a guess. Here you are. So, but what I was going to go at is, you know, let's just say in some crazy scientific, hypothetical, never could happen world that, you know, they knew how to kind of make certain chemicals or maybe even, you know, frequencies affect a certain person's DNA. That a person or people group, if they had enough of the understanding of that DNA and then they could kind of manipulate it with different chemicals or light or any kind of crazy things that could possibly come along. And right now, the live stream goes red. Ain't that
Imagine
something?
that.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
So then you've got to ask yourself, if I can't trust my eyes and I can't trust my ears and I'm being sold something at every turn, what do you got left?
Where's your Bible?
It's sitting behind
You have the
us.
Word of God.
It's over there.
Yeah. It's over there. You have the
And
Word of God.
Like I'm saying, guys, I know that there are people here who are not believers and we're friends. Because I've seen your names and we've gotten to know each other. And I'm not here to throw anything at you or make you feel bad or anything like that. Because that's not my job. My job is to communicate the gospel to you. So the question is, if what is all around me can be manipulated, changed, sold, messed with you, and now they want to put chips in your head. And that's not a joke. Look at Elon Musk. It's called what's it called? There's a thing. It's
The singularity?
no. I keep thinking deep mind because I have a deep mind synthesizer right here.
Right.
But that's not it. It's a program that he's been funding, and they've actually put chips in monkeys' heads, and they can communicate.
Can't think of what it's called.
And they're in human trials now.
No.
So imagine if this
Was
were
in
hooked
this.
to this.
Yeah.
That could never be hacked.
There was actually someone made a comment earlier in the live stream saying that there was a company in Wisconsin and
Neuralink. Thank you.
Neuralink, yeah. That the company wanted all of their 50 employees to put a chip in their hand.
No.
30 employees refused.
That's
It was
all.
yeah. Well, out of 50 people.
That's all?
Right.
Here, experimental medical implant.
Sure. But it was basically an implant so that you could get through building to building faster. You could access the computer systems with medical records in them.
No.
Yeah, no. That'll no.
No. And no.
No.
So actually between your thumb and index finger, I've seen that. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's soft tissuey part.
I had mine, and mine had to come out, you see. No.
No. You actually, what's funny is you actually have a scar right here.
Yeah, it's not it, though.
No.
This just was because I was going quickly and hit the wall.
You shouldn't do that.
Go quickly or hit the wall.
Hit the wall.
It got in my way.
Maybe you should pay attention. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, if I had the Neuralink,
okay,
if
I
had
got it,
Neuralink
Monica.
implanted in my head, my guidance system would have kept me between the rails on the road, and I could take a nap instead of driving.
Okay, I misread Monica's comment. They had 80 employees, only 50 complied, so 30 said no.
Still too much.
That's still too many.
I'd be shocked if it was one or two. Too late.
Yeah. Did those people keep their jobs? I'm curious. Did those 30 people lose their jobs?
So was it optional, not optional?
Right. Like the experimental drugs that have been, being put into our bodies, in our children's bodies. And hey, I said experimental. I said experimental.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like saying, just saying. Just saying. Like, when you tell a friend of yours, like they say, hey, does
this
this
dress
shirt
make me look fat?
And you go, well, honestly, yeah, just saying. Like somehow that makes it all better.
No, honey, it's your fat makes you look fat. Not you.
Just saying.
Yeah.
That's like a pass. You can say whatever you want, right? Yeah, just saying. All right, so here's the question, or not the question. Moving to a different part of the Bible. This is Jesus telling a parable. And I'm going to paraphrase the parable because I don't have my Bible directly in front of me. And if I get up, there's all kinds of stuff that goes wrong right here.
I might touch the mouse when he walks away.
She could touch the mouse. No touchy. No. No. But a paraphrase on a parable. Remember when there was a parable where the field of an owner had been sown, and now you have the fruit of the labor is growing up, and oh my gosh, the servants notice there's a bunch of weeds in here. What the heck happened? And it comes to knowledge that maybe your enemy went in and sowed a bunch of weeds in among the good seed. And they said, well, what do you want us to do? Rip it up? Should we just rip it up? And he's like, no, don't do that, because if you do that, you're going to rip up the good fruit, the good crop, the good wheat, right? What you're going to do is this: let it grow together, and then when it's time, you're going to harvest it all, and then at that time, you're going to separate the bad from the good. You're going to burn the bad.
Yeah, you'll harvest the weeds first and then burn them.
Then you're going to bring the good into my barn. Now, this has a very real implication to what's going on right now.
Yep.
Because I know a lot of you guys are out there going, I feel alone. What do I do? I know that everything's coming apart at the seams. I can't understand why it feels like everybody around me is absolutely going haywire. Well, here's the good news. It's only temporary. God is not absent.
No.
And he is only allowing them to come up so that you don't get harmed in the process of taking them out. And there's a lot of reasons. That's just one. But another reason is that so you have an opportunity to possibly minister to those people so they don't stay weeds anymore.
Right.
I mean, you're here for a reason, and it's not just to consume oxygen. It's not just to eat food and then make fertilizer, if you know what I mean. It's not.
No.
So honestly, I know this probably sounded like a little bit of a sermon. I guess it could sound a little bit like a sermon, but what I'm really trying to get at is there is chaos all around us. There sure is. And if you can't trust your own eyes and your own ears because the people that are above us are manipulating us, which they are, well, then who do you trust?
You only trust God. Only trust God.
So many times in our lives where things looked one way and he was just waiting to flip the switch until we kind of went, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
For example, I was working at a church, and I'm not going to go into the reason why we left. I've talked about it. But in the meantime, we didn't have a job, no retirement, no nothing, very little money at all. And I had started this goofy YouTube channel. And why? I don't know. I was just bored, to be honest. Honestly, I was just bored. Mm-hmm. Some friends of mine said, hey, my kid's got a Lego channel, and he builds Legos, and it's basically going to eventually help pay for his college.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Pay for your college?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
This
he
kid's
makes
making
these
money.
little Lego videos.
Yeah.
And I was like, no way. And I thought, well, what am I making? Well, I just made a goat milking stand. I bet no one in the world would want to watch a goat milking stand.
Well, a few people did.
And then one video became two, and on and on and on. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. As Christa started learning more about what food goes into your body and why and what's good and what's not good, our daughter Grace stopped getting sick when she started going, hey, we should switch to this. Hey, this is raw food. Hey, this is good. And you know what?
Grace doesn't get sick anymore.
And then what happened?
What do you mean?
They said, no more cow for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so where we were at, they said, nope, sorry, you can't have those animals in this rural area anymore. So we said, okay, bye, Ohio. We're going to take our tax dollars somewhere else. So we did. Mm-hmm. And here we are, milking our own cow, not having any issues. You know, Grace is not getting sick anymore. She'll get a small cold, but she doesn't get pneumonia like she used to when she was on the oil and sugar and minerals diet. Ugh, it's so gross. But she's so much better. So much better.
And that alone, even if there's so many blessings for being here, but even if that was the only one, all of that was God preparing us for the next thing. And even though we felt alone, even though we felt like we're being choked back by all these weeds and all these negative people that are just trying to stop us.
Right.
God was still in charge, still in control, and was still paving a way day after day after day, even when we couldn't see it.
Right. Right.
Even Bill, how is Grace doing? This is a good segue. Thank you, Bill.
Grace is doing fantastic. She received her new hearing aid yesterday.
Yeah.
And she actually got a replacement for her other one because it was breaking. It was not working very well. So she has two brand new hearing aids. They're different hearing aids. She has the Cochlear Ossia for one, and then the Baja 6, the Cochlear Baja 6 Max, I think it is, for the left side. And, you know, we were driving home and I said, okay, is the music too loud? She said, actually, it is. And I had it at a pretty normal temperature, normal level. I had to turn it down a little bit.
We've never heard those words come from her mouth.
Right. She's never said that's too loud, unless it's, of course, the dog barking. But she asked me, she said, what is that noise? The ting, ting, ting in the back. Is that a tambourine? I said, well, no, honey, that's cymbals. She had never heard cymbals before in music.
Of recorded music.
Yes, because they're on the highs. It's in the upper range frequency. She had lost way of the bottom end and the high end. She was really hearing very little at the mid range, but she was really. and I could whisper to her and she could hear me. It was fantastic. It really was fantastic. So she's doing really, really well.
All right, so here's where we kind of come to the, what do we do with this moment of the broadcast? What do we do with this? I mean, if we can see historically leaders and governments and the people that are in the power positions, they want to stay in power. And they don't want you to be in that power. It's called a caste system. Lords, ladies, serfs.
I only have one Lord. Thank you very much.
Yes. But we have returned to being into lords and serfs and castes. And if you doubt me, try not paying your tax bill for your property, your homeowners.
Sure. You could have your house paid off. Stop paying your property taxes. See what happens. See if you get to keep that house.
Yeah, see what happens. So what do you do with this? Well, for me, it's absolutely clear. And again, please, folks, hear me out when I say, if you're not a believer, nobody's trying to beat you over the head with it. It just seems common sense to me. And if you're not, well, we can still be buds. We still have a lot of friends who are not. I would highly encourage you to pray about it. Talk to God. Hey, am I doing the right thing here? But I'll tell you what. I believe we are headed for times that there is no other place you can put your faith and trust and or what you see and hear and believe other than God.
Right.
Period. End of story, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. And if you think that you're going to be able to somehow discern it all for yourself, I don't think that's going to work out so good.
No. So just going back to the title of the video, don't trust what you can see. Because you can see the effects of God, but you can't see him right here in front of you.
Yeah.
So only trust in God. Only.
Well, and guess what, guys? If you live in central Wisconsin, good for you. I'm sorry. I was going to say give us a call, but I just remembered. We don't put our number out there.
We don't have our phone number out.
We just don't.
Yeah, no.
And then I was thinking, well, my brain stopped going, well, why don't you just come on over? Oh, wait, we don't tell everybody where our address is because there's literal crazy people in the world.
No.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Build community.
Yes. Build community where you are at. Yes.
All right, folks. Here's a song, a new scripture. Well, I think this is an older scripture tune. It's straight up scripture. Hope you like it. If you want to download one, go to
bigfamilyhomestead.com/shop.
0 fee. No fee. We want you to have them for free. I make them. I sing them. God wrote them. Here you go.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
lest the righteous stretch out their hands to do wrong. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people from this time forth and forevermore. Do good, O Lord, to those who are good, and to those who are upright in their hearts. But those who turn aside to their crooked ways, the Lord will lead away with evildoers. Peace be upon Israel. For the scepter of wickedness shall not rest on the land allotted to the righteous, lest the righteous stretch out their hands to do wrong. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people from this time forth and forevermore. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people